Kevin Owens championships on many, many occasions, has just cost KO the title tonight.
Okay, so Goldberg wins the WWE Universal Championship. I'm Chris Soriano. Fastlane post-game here on the Soriano podcast. And lots and lots to talk about. As you know, I grew up, if you've ever listened to me or watched my podcast or everything, you know that I am a huge WCW fan. I grew up on WCW. I loved that, watched that more than the WWF for a while in my early childhood days. But what we saw tonight, and I even made a post of this on Facebook, what we saw tonight was a disgrace to pro wrestling. And I'm not even talking about the fact that Goldberg's the champion. Someone commented on my status. They said, an established person is the champion or something like that. And they're like, it's okay in my book. Well, it's not that I have a problem. I don't have a problem with Goldberg winning the title. I really don't. I've always been for, giving veteran guys one last run. I thought Sting should have really won the world title last year. I thought Ric Flair should have got another title run, or at least a title hold in 03, 04, 02. I thought he should have got number 17. But Goldberg wins. Goldberg wins the title. I'm not mad about that. I'm really not. What I'm mad at is the fact that it was another squash. And we kind of predicted this. This is what it was going to be. And we said on the podcast, we said, either Brock is going to come out, beat the shit out of Goldberg either before he gets to the ring, or he'll do something, or he'll come out and distract Goldberg and Owens will win. Or we had it where Jericho was going to come out and cost Owens the title, which he did. Or Owens was going to win the match by DQ. Jericho was going to hit Goldberg or do something, whatever. Or Jericho was going to hit Owens. Goldberg was going to lose by disqualification. And it would set up Jericho and Owens for the title at WrestleMania. Or Goldberg would just squash the shit out of Owens. And we kind of got both of them. We had Goldberg squashing Owens and also Jericho costing Owens the match. I have a problem when you're trying to put this new youth movement out there in this new era in the WWE. I have a big problem with a 50-year-old guy just squashing the living fucking hell out of one of the top independent wrestlers we've ever seen in this business and an up-and-coming star in this business. In big time. Now, me personally, there is no doubt about what we saw tonight. Kevin Owens' character taking a huge hit tonight. Huge hit. You're supposed to be the world champion. You're supposed to be the guy. They could not have booked Kevin Owens more awful than as a world champion. I understand sometimes. I understand that the heel has to have some help sometimes. I don't think Owens, even a non-title match, I don't think he ever really won a match cleanly while he had the belt. It just made him look terrible, made him look weak. And what do? What do they do? They have him job out They have Kevin Owens job out to a 50-year-old guy who has not wrestled in 12 years. He's still, he's wrestled 2 matches or so since November after he took a 12-year hiatus. And it's just wrong. I wouldn't have, but see, here's the thing, though. I will say this. I would not have minded if it was a 10-minute match, they went back and forth, and Goldberg caught him with a spear, and he won. I would not have minded that. I wouldn't have minded that. I would have took that. But when you have a 50-year-old guy having fucking young guys job out, it's terrible. I mean, what am I watching? Am I watching WCW from like 99, 2000? Fucking wrestling company has young guys that have potential. They push the old guys. The old guys always win. Old guys win the championships. Well, I mean, what the fuck are we saying here? It's the same thing. The guy that's the old guy that's winning the titles now is Goldberg. And this truly scares me now for WrestleMania. Scares me to death. Because right now with WrestleMania, what you have to look at now is now they've had Elimination Chamber, now they've had Fastlane. So now we kind of have a sense of where we're going to go. We're going to see Roman Reigns retire The Undertaker. It's going to be fucking depressing. You're going to have AJ Styles, all that talent, wrestling Shane fucking McMahon. Ooh, wow. What a great contest. Please stop. And again, I love Shane, but dude, just go the fuck away. Just go away. I mean, if this was AJ versus Shane, maybe from like, even Shane from 5 years ago, I'd say okay. I just don't want to see AJ and Shane. I don't. That's what we're going to see. So this is what you have. You have AJ and Shane McMahon. You have Roman Reigns going to retire The Undertaker. Jericho and Owens will be good. You're going to have Orton and Wyatt, which I think is going to steal the show. Rollins and Triple H. What do you do with Joe? I mean, there are some good matches on there, but you also have recipes for disaster, and then you have the world title match. Well, the universal title match, which is going to be Brock and Goldberg. And I've tried to do all these things in my head of what they would do, how they would do it. But someone told me the other day, and I had this in my head, and I think it was my brother. And he said, no, there's no Money in the Bank person right now. And I don't think they did a Money in the Bank last year. They've been doing the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. That has taken place of the Money in the Bank. Because this was my theory. Goldberg cannot go more than a minute in the ring. He just can't do it. So, what you're going to have is Goldberg maybe get some offense in for the first minute, spear Brock, all this, jackhammer, all that fancy jazz. Brock kicks out this time. He's rejuvenated this time. Starts beating the shit out of Goldberg. Brock wins after like 4 or 5 minutes. And then someone would come out with the Money in the Bank and cash in on Brock. Or as the match was going on or whatever. You don't have that luxury here. Because there's no Money in the Bank winner or Money in the Bank holder. So, your main event is going to be Brock and Goldberg. And nobody wanted to see this in 2004, and we wanted to see it at Survivor Series. We did. I did. But now we know the cat's out of the bag that Goldberg can't go. He can't go. He can't do it. I tell you what they will do right now. If they don't have Brock and Goldberg as the main event, Orton and Wyatt would be a tremendous main event. It's not going to be that. If Reigns is going to really retire The Undertaker, then that's going to be their main event. And Reigns is going to retire him, and that's going to be the main event. It would mean more if Taker was undefeated. But so yeah, a 50-year-old guy has a young stud job to him tonight on pay-per-view. For the heavyweight title, no less. Just makes no sense. You know, from a booking standpoint, it makes no sense. And I love SmackDown too, but you know what and that Orton promo was incredible. But what they're doing with this whole AJ thing and the who's getting the shot at Wyatt, they're just playing it to death. They're just playing it to death. And now you know it's so obvious. Once they made the match, Styles and Orton, it's so obvious. Now Orton's gonna win. Styles will be pissed off, and Styles is gonna fight Shane. Which I was hoping maybe Luke Harper would have fought Shane after he kicked him. And I said that someone goes, "Oh well, Chris, you just said you didn't want to see Shane McMahon." I don't really, but I'll take Shane McMahon versus Luke Harper because here's my thing: not taking anything away from Luke Harper, AJ Styles is a world-class talent who's up there in age. I mean, you'll have Harper for a while. You don't want to squander opportunities with AJ. AJ should be the one to retire Undertaker. Plain and simple. That's how you build a fucking star right there. But no, he's going to give it to Reigns, who nobody wants. It's going to be interesting. But again,